Hello everyone! Today, we are going to learn the different carpentry and woodworking tools. This is Rain and I am your TLE teacher. To begin with, let us start with the measuring tools. But the tools that I will be showing you are those that you can find here in my simple shop. So, going back, this is the measuring tools. This is the usual or the standard measuring tool of most carpenters. It's called the pull-push rule. So it's retractable by nature. The moment that you pull it, it will, and when you release it, it will automatically go back to its casing. The pull-push rule is having both the English and the metric system. As you can see, we have here the English, and on the other side, English in inches, and on the other side it's the metric, which is in centimeter. Okay, so this is the pull push rule, and you can place this in your belt for easy access every time that you will be needing to measure something in your project. The next one is the 12-inch ruler. Basically, they're just calling this a straight edge, along with this a steel straight edge. No, this one measures. It measures 40 inches, and it's about 100 centimeter, or almost 1 meter. So this can be considered a steel meter stick. Okay, so these are measuring tools, and you still have a lot, so do some researching in your end. Thank you. The next set of tools are called testing tools. So these tools can perform testing on the levelness, the plumpness, or squareness of your work. So most of these testing tools can also perform as a measuring tool, because they also carry with it graduations that will make you measure dimensions of your work. Okay, so let's start with the squares first. Those tools that checks the squareness of your work are these L-shaped tools. Starting with the biggest, this is the not so maintained tool of mine, which maybe in our next video we will try to restore this. It's kind of rusty, but still it can check the squareness of your work. Okay, so for wider or big work or area, then you need to use this one for you to ensure the accuracy of your work, in terms of its squareness. For small projects, like you do your projects that are not too huge in your work, so you could use this for convenience. Still, it has a 90 degrees here, so that would mean that you could check the squareness of your work. Okay, so for general projects of yours, you can use this square as well, which still has a tag on it. So these tools can, by the way, perform a miter checking, or let's say you will create a miter line for your miter joint, so you can use this angle in your work. Okay, so for some books they are called miter square, for some it's called tri-square. Okay, but upon checking, those squares that don't have this 45 angle are called tri-square, but for some books they're calling it still as a tri-square. So you will notice here that there is this bigger or thicker part and a thinner part in here. So this one is used to slide along the side of your wood, or of your project, just like the principle of T-square that we have discussed before. So these are all for squareness. This next tool is the bar level. It cannot test squareness. No, instead it could still has itagonet. Just leave that. So it could check the levelness of your work by positioning the bubble at the center of this vial here, this liquid vial here. Intentionally, they left a bubble there for you to be able to readjust the settings or position of your work in such a way. So the moment that you have placed it at the center, that would mean to say that horizontally your work is straight. Okay, so horizontal checking of levelness. For plumbness or vertical levelness of your work, or vertical checking of your work, for example in your columns, you can use the other vial here, which is positioned, say, perpendicularly to this one here. So this will check the vertical levelness or alignment maybe of your work. So it can perform like a plumb bob. Okay, so you just position the work here, and then so you just, okay. So talking about vertical, we do have here the plumb bob here. This is the plumb bob. So the plumb bob has a string in it and has a heavy part, which is the one responsible for establishing the alignment, the vertical alignment of your work. Okay, to make sure that it is, standing in such a way that it will support the structure. Now that it will transfer all the way to the ground without dispersing it on the other part of your structure, say in a column or pillars of your house. So there's a thread here. You could just remove it, and if ever that the string you need to replace it, then you can just change the string by maybe cutting this part or rope and then replacing it with the new one. Okay, the next one are like hybrid testing tools that can perform also of the squares here, but it's triangle. It's 45 by 45 by 19, just like with our drafting work before. There are a lot of names of this tool, hybrid tool, online. Some of the names they're calling it's the speed square, but in here you can see aluminum alloy square. So it's really up to you to how are going to call this, but this tool can perform also the work of our miter square, because it has also a part here where you can use this to slide along the side of your work. Okay, so also since this is hybrid, it also has some graduation, just like of that of a protractor. For example, if you wanted to check the angle of your work, okay, so it has an 80 degrees here up to 10 degrees. So with the point of reference is over here. Okay, so you just have that way, and then we could put the marking here, and then that would give you the 10 degrees angle. Now pointing here to there, that's 45. So this is a very good tool as well. Okay, somewhat similar to this is one of my innovation, which is called the leveling and testing tool, apparatus, the measuring and testing apparatus. That's the name of my tool here. So I place a liquid vial here to perform just like of this bar, level bar or spirit bar, for me to check the levelness both horizontal. Once you transfer it here, it could check vertical and horizontal as well. And I place graduations here in inches, centimeter, and I place an angle here for me to check the squareness also for small work and So this is my innovation, or I also made this into a research, and this is already part of the intellectual property office as a utility model, no? So this is the last tool. Okay, so you have the steel square, the triangles here, you have the plumb bob, okay, you have the level bar, you have the miter square. Set of tools are called the driving tools. So starting with our mallet here. So the mallet is made of a wooden handle and a soft head. Usually it's of rubber, or for some cases it's made also of wood. This tool is used to drive chisels so that the chisel's handle will not get damaged. So that's the reason behind. Sometimes the mallet is also used to dismantle parts of your house that are delicate nor made of a soft material, no, so that it will not damage the surface or the integrity of your material. Also, are common to most carpenters are these claw hammers. This is the 16-ounce claw hammer. So it's called claw hammer because it has this part here which resembles like a claw. It is used to pull out nails, and it has a head here, a neck, and a face here that hits the fastener, most especially nails. So this is usually the partner of nail. This is the partner of chisels, okay, in driving the chisels. Okay, so this is the claw hammer. We also have here the small version of claw hammer for small projects that doesn't really entail so much of weight, and then for you also to control the pressure or the pounding that you are doing to your work. Okay. Popular also to our shop or most carpentry shop are this screwdrivers. This is the flat screwdriver, no, something negative, if you're to view it on top. So it is used to screw or unscrew parts of your project, no, that needs fastening. Okay, and then we also have the cross, no, or a positive symbol there. This is called the Phillips screwdriver. This is used to remove Phillips screws or having that cross sign on it. And we have the stubby. This is a small type of a screwdriver which is used to unscrew also for usually in most electronic appliance that I saw you're using this for small or easy to reach parts of it. And I think this is a free accessory with one of the power tools that I bought. Okay, so these are driving tools. Again, this is the mallet, the claw hammers, and the various types of screwdriver. The next set of tools are called holding tools. The first one, this is the bar clamp. So the holding tools, all types of clamps, and all types of pliers belongs to that category of tools. Okay, so this is the bar clamp. So we just simply move this part and it's shredded, wherein we could place our work here, and if it needs some tightening, you just have to rotate this part of your bar clamp here. So this is a very good must have in your shop, no? The next one, this is the 3 inches C clamp. The same, it has a mechanism, a threaded mechanism as well, to hold your work here, no, for your convenience while working. The C clamp. Let's proceed to various types of pliers here. I don't know if this is complete, but still it needs some maintenance because I just used this while making my project. So maybe we could have another video on how to maintain carpentry or woodworking tools. The first one, this is the long nose pliers. Okay, so it's very good for areas having a very limited space or area to use this elongated and a small part of your work. It has also a cutter here for maybe to cut wires, of your work. And this one is the slip joint pliers. It could also hold, and you could even readjust the opening of your work or of the pliers for you to facilitate the holding more than what it can take. So you just have to switch it there. So it's also rusty. So you could oil this one sometime. So this will increase the grip, the coverage of your work. Okay, slip joint pliers. The next one, you have a common tool also in your workshop. This is called the combination pliers. So it can both hold and cut both sides. You could also use this part sometimes here to hold your work, and also your in front in here, and it has also a cutter. And okay, so by the way, there's an insulation for you to be protected from, for example, if you are working with live wires, open wires, so this will avoid you getting into trouble. So this insulation has its own purpose. Okay, the next one is the side cutter pliers, or the side cutting pliers. This is used to cut, particularly just to cut anything that needs on the side. Okay, so if you have the side cutting pliers, we also have a front cutting pliers. Okay, so it's still hard because I just get this from my other shop. It still needs some lubricating. So the purpose of this is for you to be able to facilitate work that needs to be performed or with the limitation of the side cutting pliers. Okay, so these are good brands, but I forgot what's the brand of this. Then we also have the adjustable wrench here, and all wrenches I think also belongs to this category. So you could just reopen it, and also to open it the widest part. Okay, so this is again the adjustable wrench. I only got one because I don't often use wrenches in my work. Maybe if we are going to have automotive topics later, I will invest buying different types of wrenches for my collection. You have the front cutting or front cutter pliers, the side cutting or side cutter pliers, the combination pliers, the slip joint. Okay, this is the slipping joint, can be adjusted, the long nose. Okay, various type of clamps that I have here. I seldom use this, but I often use this bar clamp here. It could go as much as this part, and so I just bought this online. Okay, so these are holding tools. The next set of tools are called edge cutting and tooth cutting tools. Okay, so let's begin with the tooth cutting tools. We have here the standard cutting tool for most carpenters. It's called the crosscut saw. So the blade is different with that of the rip saw. That's, of course, as the name itself suggests, crosscut saw is used to cut wood across its grain. Okay, so this is the crosscut saw. And then we also got here a tool that we can use it to cut metals. So this is the hacksaw. So it could withstand, the hardness of any metal, our usual metals that we're using for welding jobs. The hacksaw. And you also got here a small hacksaw also, for doing minor or small projects, with metal, or sometimes it could also perform great, in doing fine cuts in wood. Okay, I could see some videos also they're using this to cut those finer parts of the project, and sometimes they're also using this to cut PVC pipes, as I can also see in the videos. But the correct usage of this, it should be used in cutting metal. Okay, so these are poorly maintained tools as well. This is the first one as our edge cutting tool. This is a chisel. The chisel, it is used to remove certain parts of our projects. Okay, so the chisel, the partner of this, it's the mallet, the ones that I presented to you earlier. Okay, so for carving or for removing unwanted parts of your project or making joineries, this is also very good. This one, it's the spook shave. So it has a handle in here, and we will be having another video, maintaining or retaining the quality of our tools, okay, by oiling this one, so this can still be restored. So it could smoothen certain parts of your project, particularly those rounded part. This is a very good tool with the spook shave. Then you have here the vintage type of a edge cutting tool called the plane. So this is my dad's tool, actually, because he's also a carpenter. So it has a blade in here and a lock, just to ensure that the blade will not be removed. And the cutting edge or part, it's down here. So I think it's still sharp, but it's just rusty. Because most of the time I'm not using this anymore, because I'm more of power tools, not the electric planer. So that is why I seldom use this one. Everything it's done using the planer, but for finer work, this is very recommended. Okay, this is the plane, the spook shave, chisel. Not just one example, but there are a lot or different types of chisel. I think this is a firmer chisel. Then you got a various sizes of hacksaw here. The standard size, most especially used by machinists, and a smaller version here, and also the cross cut saw, okay, which is used to cut wood across the grain. Another set of tools are called boring tools, because they create holes in the surface of your wood. Okay, so this is the hand drill. This is very vintage as well. This is my dad's tools as well. I just get it from his toolbox. I don't know if it's still functioning. Just repair this part here. Oh, it's already hard, but the bit is being placed here and then lock it. Just most drills that we're using. And you also got the brace here. This is the auger brace, which serves as the body of your tool. And the blade of that, this is the auger bit. I think this is 3/4 inch size auger bit. So these two are used to create holes in your work. Okay, so just take this one and then it will rotate here, and that will facilitate the boring process, no, of your project. So maybe I will not be restoring this anymore because these are my dad's, or maybe I could restore this, if I have the time, because most of the time I'm using the electric drill. And I also have purchased recently a wireless, brushless 18 volts electric drill. Okay. Some tools that worth mentioning in my collection are this one, the utility knife, which we can use to cut our project, and you have the snips as well. And for me to sharpen my tools, I use this oil stone here, and certain types of file like this triangular file and the flat file over here, but it's also kind of rusty, so I will be restoring this maybe in my next video. Okay, so these are some of the tools or miscellaneous tools that I have in my collection. So we have just finished discussing the different carpentry and woodworking tools. Always remember to return them to the proper places. Thank you and see you on the next video.